Okay, what's this? Stellar Blade director says there is no justification for banning adult mods.
My man.
Alright, guys, I know I keep making Stellar Blade videos, and this will probably be my last one for a while. It's just that new stuff keeps coming out that I want to talk about. So, this one in particular, though, this is more in a positive light. This has to do with Kim Young-tae, the director of and creator of Stellar Blade. And I wanted to talk about his stance on mods and things like that, because he has some pretty base things to say about this whole situation. He is a perfect example of how to be when it comes to interacting with the fans of something you create, and just he's a great representation of what the game industry needs to look to become better. But let me get into some more specifics here. So this article starts off with the director of Stellar Blade has reacted to the PC release of the game being flooded with adult mods. And I've talked about that in a recent video as far as the mods go. We all know that the game journalists are seething over this. He says in a recent interview, Kim Young-tae said that they have no intentions of moderating risque skins for Eve. Awesome. Awesome. Exactly what needs to happen. It goes on to say, in a June 14th interview with This Is Game, Stellar Blade director Kim Young-tae gave his take on adult mods. According to the Shift Up CEO, there is no justification for moderating a game that isn't intended for minors. I've been saying this for a long time. We have a rating system for a reason. Stellar Blade is rated as unsuitable for minors, so I don't think there's any justification for regulating such mods. Thank you. Thank you. And realistically, there's no proper way to regulate them. And yeah, he's right. There isn't. I mean, there really isn't. If there wasn't Nexus mods, there'd be another site. And honestly, don't use Nexus mods. They're ran by complete morons. But anyway, I digress. As you know, there probably aren't any cases where mods are completely controlled by developers, which is another case. I know we've seen in the past where Capcom complains about mods, saying, oh, it's cheating or whatever. And then you have this guy turning around saying, hey, mods are cool. And you'll also understand a little bit more. I've already kind of read through this article. I'm just kind of going through it for you guys. Kim Young-tae said he was more worried about modders selling Eve skins at high prices. So he was more worried about that. What I'm worried about is that rather than having too many people make skins and sell them at high prices, I hope that users enjoy the creative culture like a party where they all enjoy it together. Man, I love this guy. This guy is awesome. Let's see. In terms of how far creators can push the adult mods in Stellar Blade, the game's director says he trusts players to use common sense. Where was this guy when we needed him a long time ago in the game industry? No, seriously, you don't see this kind of thing anymore. More often than not, you're seeing developers yell at fans and basically treat gamers and fans like idiots. That's what they do. So here's this guy come along going, you know what? I'm going to put some trust in you guys. So we cannot fail this guy, all right? And not to dive deeply into antisocial behaviors with them, okay? He says, it's the user's freedom. I think it is entirely up to the user to choose how to enjoy the game once they own it. Let me get back to that. So I have no intention of sanctioning such matters. However, since you are all mature members of society, I believe you will act within the bounds of common sense and be careful of antisocial or sensitive matters. I love this guy. Love this guy. And the fact that he actually says the game that you own. Like, he outright says, he's like, it's up to you. You bought the game, you enjoy it how you want. Man, I can't say enough things about Kim Young-tae. I really there's nothing. He just keeps getting better and better. He says now it goes on to say, while Stellar Blade's director hopes to see gameplay mods, so far modders are mostly focusing on creating risque skins. Well, I said in my recent video that's to be expected. We knew that was going to happen. Over on Nexus forums, the top trending mods are all centered around removing Eve's clothing. It's either that or altering her body proportions, which I don't understand that. She was already fine the way she was, in my opinion. Yet it's so suggestive, I can't even show you uncensored picture on the forum's homepage. He says, speaking of Eve skins, Kim Young Tae also shared comments on modders trying to make new clothes for the protagonist. The Stellar Blade director thinks official skins in the game are much better. The firepower of the modders is still weak. Wow, he's calling out the modders. He's like, it's still a bit lacking. Up until now, I think the official content is still better. I personally kind of agree with that a little bit. I'm starting to see some really cool mods come out, but I personally like the stuff that's already in it. That's just me though, but I am starting to see some good stuff come out from the modding community. You just have to give these things a little bit of time and you'll start seeing it. He's like, so you hear that, modders? You have to step up your game. You know why he's saying that? He's telling the modders, he's like, come on, you can do better than that. I love this guy so much. He's like, Stellar Blade has been a massive breakout success since its PC launch on June 11th. The action RPG has already sold 3 million units on Steam. This makes it the most successful PlayStation title to launch on PC, while the game's recent popularity is undoubtedly being fueled by adult mods. Stellar Blade is generally an incredible action RPG that deserves its success. And you know, this is interesting because this article was written by Vice, and I'm normally not a big fan of their articles, but this article doesn't come off like the PC Gamer one where they were complaining. This article generally comes off as, hey, you know what? This is awesome. I had an interview with the director and he's awesome. And they're basically saying, go enjoy the game the way you want. And see, who was this written by? This was written by, let's see if I can find it here, by a Brent Coep, if I pronounce that right. So yeah, actually a good article, and it paints the director of the game in a very, very positive light. And so I just wanted to talk about this, bring something a little more positive for once on a video. Instead of talking about someone complaining about the game, I wanted to show you guys off something where there's an actual positive take on this whole situation. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And are you guys enjoying Stellar Blade? Is it a game that you guys are enjoying? I know I loved it. I loved it ever since it dropped on PlayStation 5. And I still haven't bought the PC version yet. That's still on my list of things to do. And I am going to do it because I want to support Shift Up as much as possible. We need more developers like this in the game industry, hands down. So, all right, guys, that's all I got for you today. And as always, if you like this content, please give it a like. And if you're new here and you enjoyed, I would appreciate a sub. All right, peace out.